Morning everybody, how are you today? So episode 7, be honest with yourself, Millionaire Mindset. That's the reality, it's just be honest with yourself. I talked about in episode 6, part 1 and 2, about 13 different subjects, and I kind of thought that we need to revisit them because they read a lot more in depth into them. Now, word of warning, if you've got a happy life and you've got exactly everything you want, don't watch this, because this will lift the lid on Pandora's box, possibly for some people. We're going to be honest with ourselves, right? Yeah, pretty honest, hopefully. We all try to hide who we truly are, but by trying to be normal and fitting in with the crowd. If we want to be honest with ourselves and others, we need to be honest with ourselves. Morning, how are you? No, you're fine, don't worry. Would it surprise you if I said that most people live their lives without being completely honest with themselves? We all have parts of our personality we want to hide because we're afraid that other people will see them. We might be judged, the real you. Morning Francis, morning James. Newsflash, it's normal behaviour, everybody does it. When we were children, we wanted to be liked. And that was the first time we were maybe teased and about our physical being or our personality trait, and we learned quick to hide. Here's the profile. When you're a child, other kids would tell you that you're weird. It really hurt your feelings. You tried to be normal, or what was perceived to be normal, just to fit in. But by doing this meant you lost most of what made you, you. Some of us become good at hiding parts of ourselves that we don't even realise it's the parts it's gone and be replaced by an empty feeling. We all do it. We suffer from insecurities. We don't accept who we are. We self-sabotage ourselves through addictions and other behaviours that don't get us what we really truly want. Often we see ourselves how other people see us in relationships. And we're not honest with ourselves as well. When both of us are healthy and happy and balanced, chances are we're in touch with who we really are and are able to communicate effectively with each other. However, relationships, when they're one-sided and abusive, or maybe even a little too perfect, can result in one or both parties not being in touch with who we really are and hiding the parts that we don't want the other person to see. When you have a strong sense of self and you feel like you're a worthy person, it doesn't matter what people think of you. You don't feel the need to be judge others or gossip about them because you're secure with yourself and therefore you accept yourself and other people. Just take a moment to imagine what it would feel really like to truly be free with who you actually are. Morning me. If this exercise makes you really happy, then you probably aren't hiding too much. If this exercise makes you really sad, then I'm guessing you're not really being the real you. Listen, be honest with yourself. It's a bit like being naked. A few people are comfortable with it, but it's a bit like having naked emotions. Everybody wants to be loved and liked and not judged. So let's explore some of the ways that we aren't honest with ourselves. See if any of these situations sound familiar to you. They did to me. Okay, so you hear an inappropriate joke and either laugh at it or say nothing at all, rather than actually telling the person it was inappropriate. You say yes to everything, even though sometimes you feel like saying no. And that, my friends, leads to depression. But that's another whole story. You use the excuse, I don't have time, when you probably do have the time, but the real answer is you aren't interested. You're afraid to say no. You hide the parts of yourself that you deem bad or undesirable, so that your friends will like you. You buy fashion labels just for the labels, rather than actually the quality. You try to convince yourself that's why you're buying them. You won't reveal to a friend that you're feeling anxiety or depression because you don't want them to run a mile and not talk to you again. Listen, this stuff hurts. But if you're like me, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I just needed to make a change. You overcommit your time because you want to do everything for everyone and fit everything in your schedule. You want to please everyone and end up pleasing no one. You tend to cower in the corner at a party or even just talk to one person all night. You may judge others by how they look. You have unhealthy addictions. That's a real tough one to admit. You sometimes feel like a fraud, as if you're going through the motions of life. Does this all sound familiar maybe? If it doesn't, great. You're probably happy where you are. This process of healing can begin for you today when you decide to make a change. The first step is really fully to accept that you've been hiding. There's no blame or shame here. You've simply done what you needed to do in order to survive. You can take back your life and bring back those parts that you need to reveal to both you and the people you love. It can be very shocking when you come to the realisation that you've been going through the motions of your life rather than actually living it. Does that sound familiar? Listen, it takes courage to step out and let your thoughts and your light shine to people that you know. Very difficult, because no one wants to be judged. But just remember, your true friends will take the good and the bad and the great and the not so great. So here's a few simple tasks you can do this week. Take inner reflection. The more time you spend with each thought, the greater your results will be. Don't be surprised if you feel emotional while pondering all this work, as will be bringing up inner feelings that may have been suppressed for a while. Let people around you know that you're doing some soul searching and ask for their emotional support. This is at the point where if you're judged, they are not your friend. Just get that reality check. I know you might want to just fall back into line to fit in, but we just spoke about that, didn't we? Sick and tired of being sick and tired? I certainly was. So get a piece of paper and answer the following questions in depth. Take as long as you need with each question. What does honesty mean to you? What does it really mean to be truly honest with yourself? In what ways are you not honest with yourself? And imagine yourself completely free and your authentic self. Nobody's judging you or watching you. What would you feel like? What would you do? So choose one thing about yourself, just one thing that you're not being honest about, and sit with the idea of changing it this week. How does that make you feel? Make me feel brilliant. Nervous? Terrified? Well, it's okay. It's your mind just trying to protect you. I've said it before in other episodes. If you want to change some things in your life, you've got to change some things in your life. Morning, Francis. Thank you. You might find it beneficial to connect with others, so please feel free to share your thoughts in this comment section. And for some of you, that might terrify you. But I don't think anybody on this page will judge you. And if they do, it says a lot more about them than about you. So it's okay. Good people won't judge you. They'll only support you. And I'll see you tomorrow at 7:30.